Now that we've given an overview of some of the key concepts and features supported by object-oriented Java, let's focus in on some of the structural elements supported by object-oriented Java. In particular, we're going to be focusing on Java classes. Object-oriented apps written in Java are typically organized in terms of various structural elements, including classes, interfaces, and packages. As I said, we're primarily here going to be focusing on classes. An object is a class instance that performs certain operations and interacts with other objects. You can basically think of a class as a cookie cutter in a way that is used to create objects, which are like the cookies. An object in Java resides in the main memory location of a computer when it's being accessed at runtime. So here you can see we have our simple hash set, which we mentioned in the previous part of this lesson, and the simple hash set uses a hash set and then provides implementations of the iterator, contains, and add method. And we'll be taking a closer look at the details of this as we go through this part of the lesson and then the case study walkthrough in the next part of the lesson. Simple hash set, as you can see from this slide, is a subclass in the simple set hierarchy that's implemented by the Java hash set collection. It consists of state. In this case, the state is the hash set itself, which is represented by a data field. And data fields are typically defined as part of the private portion of a class using a private access control specifier. There are other specifiers we'll talk about, such as public and protected, but for now, data by and large should be protected as private, so it can't be accessed by clients. The other part of a class is its behavior, which of course are represented via methods. So examples of these methods in the context of simple hash set would be iterator, contains, and add. As you can see here, methods can be specified in various ways using access control specifiers too. All the methods we see here, iterator, contains, and add, are defined to be public, which means that they're accessible to any client that uses an object or an instance of simple hash set. You can also have private methods, which are really only intended for the implementation of the class public methods, as well as so-called protected methods, which are not directly visible to clients, but which can be accessed by subclasses. Objects in Java often correspond to so-called real-world entities. And of course, whether something's real world or a virtual world really depends on your perspective often. But as a simple example, we might have an account class and then have instances of the account class, such as an account, which would be an object. And we could have fields that represented the data model. So you might have an account class contain a current balance, which would be some money object. You might also have another field that would be overdraft protection, which could be a Boolean flag, either true or false. And then, of course, there could be various methods that would actually define the capabilities of the class. So the ability to deposit money, withdraw money, check the current balance, those could be behaviors or capabilities that are defined and available through public methods that clients or users of the class could access. So that was a quick summary of one of the key structural elements in Java, namely Java classes. Of course, there's also other important structural elements, such as interfaces, which are a bit like classes, but really are used more to define APIs rather than fields, although they can have default implementations in modern versions of Java. There's also the concept of a package, which can be used to group together various classes and interfaces into higher level namespaces. Once again, however, if you have little or no knowledge of object-oriented Java, this summary probably isn't sufficient for you. So in that case, you may need to get some more hands-on experience, in which case I recommend you take a look at our Java for Android MOOC, which really talks about basic object-oriented Java. So that's the end of our overview of one of the key structural elements supported by object-oriented Java. We're now going to turn our attention to a case study that'll kind of pull all the pieces together and let you walk through actual code and see how this works in practice. And after that, we're then finally going to get a chance to turn our attention to the real focus of all this material, which is the functional features in modern Java.